One of the main purposes of the client table is to provide an at-a-glance view of the status of clients connected to the PureNAC system. Status is visually represented by coloured rows. The key at the bottom of the client table describes the meaning of the various status colours. The top set of status colours in the key are for clients that are on the correct network, as assigned by the client's role. That is, green for a healthy, compliant client with an enforced role. Blue for a client always allowed onto the normal network. Brown for a client always put onto the isolation network. And finally, black for a client not given any network access at all. The second row of status colours applies to clients that have an enforced role but have recently had poor compliance. Yellow for a client still on the normal network but with poor compliance. Unless action is taken by the user, this client will eventually transition to the isolation network. Orange for a client that has been isolated due to poor compliance, but the user has subsequently fixed the issue. This client will soon transition back to the normal network. Red for a client that has been isolated and has poor compliance. The user must fix any issue in order to transition back to the normal network. Finally, the white status colour is used for clients that have not been seen by the PureNAC system for a while. That is, a period longer than the health valid time. This status colour is also used for clients that have explicitly disconnected from the PureNAC system, for example by sending a DHCP release. For a healthy network, the client table will be filled with colours from the top row of the status key. That is green, blue, brown and black. The presence of yellow or orange or red indicates that a client has recently failed a compliance check and user action is required to ensure continued access to the normal network. The client table can contain many thousands of entries, so it is important that there is an easy way to navigate to client information. Columns can be sorted either ascending or descending by clicking once or twice on the column heading. By default, the MAC address column is sorted ascending, but if you wanted to sort by IP address ascending, just click on the appropriate heading. And again click on the IP address heading to sort descending. The page navigation control allows you to browse through all of the client information. You can easily go to the first or last page of the client information or any page in between. Since each page only displays 20 clients at a time, this method for finding a particular client can be cumbersome, especially if there are hundreds or thousands of clients. A better approach is to filter the table using the column filters. Say that I knew the client I was interested in had a MAC address containing the hex number 2D. Then the MAC address column could be filtered on that text. The client table now shows all clients that contain 2D in their MAC address. Say I also knew the host name contained the text XP. The client table can be filtered once more on that. Say I also knew the username was Chris something. The client table can be filtered once more on that to finally locate the client that I'm interested in. More detailed information for any client can be seen by clicking on the View link, which is associated with the client in question. Let me demonstrate another example of the client table filtering functionality. Say I was interested in knowing the number of clients that had been assigned the Always Isolate role. To find this information, I would simply filter the client table by the appropriate role name. The client table displays the number of filtered rows. In this case, exactly 100 clients have been assigned the role Always Isolate. To clear the client table filter, click on the Clients link in the navigation panel.